Okay, I want to welcome you to my short discussion and video over Chapter 4. I'm going to explain to you how do you access FASB's Accounting Standard Codification. If you've taken Dr. Fisher for not-for-profit, you may have discussed the governmental accounting research. If not, you can also access that through this account site as well. So what we're going to do within Chapter 4, go ahead and read Chapter 4, which is Financial Accounting Research. So what I'm going to help you figure out is if you're on the job and let's say you're working at a real estate company and they ask you, hey, how do I record my receivables for retail land? Well, unless you've dealt with it in the past, that may be something you can't find necessarily in your intermediate book because it's dealing with real estate. You may have to go out if you've taken a real estate class. Or if you haven't, it's like, where do I start? Where can I find this information? Again, Google won't necessarily get you this exact information unless you have access and have a paid access to the FASB's Accounting Standard Codification website. So again, it's always best to go straight to US GAAP to find the information. So what we talk about when we mention the codification, the FASB codification research system enables comprehensive research on different accounting issues. So within here, you're going to be able to obtain authoritative evidence to help solve your research questions more effectively and efficiently than actually going out to Google and just trying to figure it out for yourself. Again, these are sorted by something called in Figure 4-2 a topic, subtopic, section, and subsection. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is log in. The login information is going to be listed right above where I include this short video clip. I will also include the password. So once you log in, well, let me type that correctly. Give me 1 second here. There's capital letters, lowercase. Okay. Oh, 99. I'm sorry. The 98 is for students. 98 is for myself. 399 is for you. That's why I wasn't accepting my password. Okay. So again, I am doing this as if I were a student because your database is going to be a little bit different than mine. Okay, so once you log in successfully, you're going to click on FASB Accounting Standard Codification. Now, on your screen, the first thing you're going to get that's going to pop up is the agreement, the license agreement. So go ahead and scroll all the way down on the license agreement and accept, and then you will get to this screen. Okay, so my question I asked you a second ago is actually dealing with Figure 4-5. How would I record my receivables for retail land? The main area you're going to use off to the left here, or you can go up here and search. It's easier to figure out the left-hand side. So we're dealing with a receivable. First thing you ask yourself, is that an asset, liability, or equity? Of course, by this point, you know it's an asset. So go to Assets, Receivable. And then it breaks it down by industry. Well, we're not looking at agricultural, not looking at entertainment. So go ahead and go down to real estate. Once you get to real estate, we want retail land. And once you click here, go ahead and expand, or just click on the 310 receivable. And here is all the information you need to know about your receivable for retail land. It didn't give me 976. So go ahead and go down. I'm sorry, go down to 976 retail land, which is what I thought I clicked on. Okay, here we go. So 976, 310 receivable. And then we can look at, so how do we initially measure this? How am I going to actually record it? So once you click on that, it'll tell you exactly how to record it. It says, under the full accrual method, the net receivable from retail land sales shall be discounted to the present value of the payments required. The present value shall be determined by using an appropriate interest rate, not less than the rate stated in the sales contract. The objective is to value the net receivable at the amount which it could be sold without recourse to the seller at the date of the sales contract. And then if you still have questions about how do I figure out my present value calculations, then you can click on either one of these paragraph areas. So again, notice it is very detailed. So when you were taking your intermediate class, your advanced accounting class, when we discussed U.S. GAAP, the rules and regulations, so why do we record inventory this way, or why do we have to use one of the four methods? This is why. This is where you can find all the details on how to record it, why we use it, etc., etc. Okay, so with that said, you can look up any industry. So if you want to go by industry, let's say that you wanted to look up the entertainment industry dealing with music. So you can go to industry, entertainment, music. And if we want to look up revenue recognition, well, when do I recognize my revenue? Initial measurement, it tells you how to actually account for it. So then it says manufacturing distributors in the record and music industry shall make a reasonable estimate of returns to account for shipments to customers as sale. And again, any paragraph that's superseded, or if they changed or updated, it'll tell you here, paragraph superseded by. So then you want to click. That'll take you back to the previous one. Here is all the information you need to know about how to account for or recognize revenue in the music industry. So you can scroll down and read and find the area which you're dealing with. It even talks about how to deal with debt restructuring from creditors, derivatives and hedging, and also it talks about intangibles, goodwill, and other. How do you actually measure and account for it? So again, when you're working on a job and you're asked a detailed question, or even just a general question, here's where you go to get your proof and as evidence. Now, to show you, so again, go ahead and read through chapter 4, skim through, but this is the website you're going to use. So let's say that you were given the following question. So if you'll go ahead and turn in your books to page 79. So look at page 79. Let's look at number 16. So number 16 says use the codification to identify accounting authority governing each of the following. So the question is, how do I account for prepaid advertising? So the question is, how would you account for prepaid advertising? Well, first thing you have to know, what area is prepaids, or what prepaids fall under? Hopefully you figured out by now. Of course, you guys already know this, that your prepaid is going to be an asset. And if you think about it, we put that on the balance sheet under other assets. So if you go to other assets, section 340. From 340, we can go to capitalizing advertising costs. So again, the question was the accounting for prepaid advertising. So here it is. So 340.20. You can also look at 340. So here it talks about how do you recognize the advertising costs, how do you measure, and again, you can click on them, each one, and it'll tell you how to read. But that's the question that it's asking you. So if you're working somewhere and they say, hey, how do we capitalize these costs? How do I record these costs? This is where you can click. You can print this out, and it tells you exactly how you go about calculating. Here it talks about the direct costs, and it also talks about the payroll related to advertising. And it gives you a few examples. So here, you could type in 350-20 where it says codification. That's the shortcut. So your 350, if you'll go back to figure 4-2, I believe in your book, it talks about the different areas. So that 350 is your topic, 20 is your subtopic, and then section would be within 20. If they had more sections, we can go like if they had a section 1, 2, or 3. So that's how you account for the codification when you're going to search. Again, it's always easier to me to just click over here and find the area, and then you can write down a shortcut in case you need to come back to it. So for number 16A, first thing you want to write, you can write 350. I'm sorry, was it 340? Yeah, 340. Oh, I'm in intangibles. Let me take that back. 340-20. Oh, here we go. Okay, so advertising was what I was initially looking at. So 340-20, or you can write 340-10, 340-10-05. So whatever area you can get into. So it can go a little detail, or you can just do the basic part. So let's look at another one. Let's look at accelerated depreciation. So here it says on C, how do you, using codification, account for accelerated depreciation? Well, accelerated depreciation, is it an asset, liability, or equity? Or is it revenue or an expense? So that's the first thing you have to figure out. Once you figure that area out, figure out it's an asset and it's going to be under PPE. So we're going to go to section 360. Under 360, you can go to overall. So it'll be 360-10. So again, the question is, how do I account for it? So 360-10, 10 is overview, and then I want to scroll down and see if I can find how to actually account for it. Here it is, subsequent measurement. So right now I have 360-10-35. And when you click on general, let's go down, and here it talks about declining balance method. So 35-7. So accelerated, remember, you had to remember as an accountant, accelerated methods, there are two, double declining and SYD. So here is double declining. So that's one of the accelerated methods. So if you wanted to, you can use that one, 35-7. So again, your codification was 360-10-35-7. And notice it'll take you right to that information. Okay, so that's how you use the codifications, and that's how you're going to use the information that I give you to find the items within your exercises. So again, that is chapter 4. I will also record a few others for you shortly. Remember, you can use this on your job as well if you have any questions about how to record anything, or if two accounts are kind of, well, I think you recorded this way. No, I think it's actually recorded this way. You can come here to the FASB Codification and look up exactly how to record it.